Yeah. Let me drop exclusive game from my exclusive mind. You be out here chasing fame, I stay steady on my grind. Zero diamonds, zero.
Thank you for tapping into the Exclusive Minds podcast. Today we're going to be having an exclusive conversation with exclusive content from Exclusive Minds. I'm your host, Rook, and
Give me a second.
let's get right into it.
This bad boy up and do that. And
You said episode 63.
we are rocking officially.
63.5.
Let me just make sure. I always screw something up, and now that we got a four-man here, it's always a little bit more.
All right.
We're good. So welcome, episode 63. Man, why am I so loud?
Episode 63 coming at you. Not live, but it's coming at you. So we got.
Yeah.
I hope you can see in the camera. Yeah, you can see in the camera. We got two special guests here. We got Corey returning, or Scuzz returning, and then we have a new guest, a new mystery character, Dan, popping up. So, yeah, I hope you guys been good. I haven't seen you. Well, I guess. Yeah. When was the last time I seen you? The last time I seen you was over at his
Brian's house.
at Brian's house,
Yeah.
My birthday, yeah.
and then you at the studio. So
Studio, yeah.
It's been a little bit. How
Been
you
like
guys
a month. Good, man. Good.
Good.
School, we're both almost done school.
Nice.
So excited to graduate college.
Yeah.
So excited. Long overdue process.
This
but
is your last semester, or you have one more semester after this?
This is it.
This is it.
We got 5 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
5 weeks.
And how'd you guys meet? What was the story there?
So we met up at Kutztown.
Okay.
It was just the first couple nights we were there, and we were both walking to the same party pretty much. So we kind of just met up, and been a long journey from there.
It was like the moment we hit, like the stars aligned. There was electric. There was, you know what I'm saying? Like
You guys started
it's
just making.
No. It was just like
Let's
pause.
Yeah.
No, it was one of those moments that we didn't know it at the time, but like he was my best friend from the jump.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it was dope.
good. No, it's
Dope.
good. It's funny, like in college, you kind of go into it with an open mind. You're just like, I kind of just want to like meet as many people as you can. Some people kind of go into it with the opposite mindset. They're like, I'm just here to just like study, whatever. But I kind of went into it with that mindset actually. Like when I was in school was just like go to learn and stuff. But you just naturally meet so many people. The pool of people that you
Yep.
have at school is just like insane. Like you know, one minute you guys are walking to a party, the next thing you know, however many months, years later, you were at my uncle's house shooting a podcast.
Right,
So it's just
right.
crazy how like things like that can turn about. So
Yeah.
Well, that's the real value of college, to be honest with you, right?
Is the connections.
Connections,
I mean, the interactions and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the real value.
yeah,
Absolutely.
the real value. And to add on to that too, and please, add any part to this, but like I think the real thing with college, and we talked about this a number of times. I'm curious with you guys coming up to the tail end of your college experience, it's just to show that you could do something too. Like it's just like, all right, I could stick this out for 4 years.
Yeah.
I could do this and get it done. Like,
Yeah.
do you feel like now? Do you think college is as a necessity as people make it out to be, or do you? Well, I guess not anymore. I guess the majority now is saying kind of college is not so much. But I'm curious to hear your guys' take, kind of finishing up.
I know a lot of people that were very successful not having a college degree or any sort of like real education. Well, I shouldn't say real education, but you understand where I'm coming from.
Yep.
So and I know plenty of people, my girlfriend's dad included, they made very well for themselves without ever going to college and just stuck to the trades. And
Yeah.
I think that's a turning thing right now in society, that we're going to see more and more people want to go into the trades. And,
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of do something different other than the college route, because it is expensive and it's dedication. And I think that's getting back to your point about what employers are looking for. They want to see the dedication. They want to see that you can stick it out,
Absolutely.
like you were saying.
No, absolutely.
And, while also doing good enough to get a degree too. You know what I mean? Because obviously getting the grade is a part of it as well.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah.
sure. And I think that it kind of applies to, like you said, just sticking it out. And it's also with the trades as well. Like you can go into a trade not knowing anything, but as long as you stick it out, like you're bound to pick something up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I think a couple things about it. I think it's like a dedication thing. I think it shows that you stuck it out. I like the connections part. I don't know. I think that there is a wave of change though.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you just went through a bunch of interviews, right? So,
Yeah.
how much of the college thing came up, and how did they ask the questions around it?
yeah, so
don't care.
for other,
They
well,
don't care.
so for more than others, like if you're going into something that's like quote unquote more prestigious, like when I was interviewing with like Vanguard, that definitely came up. Just like they're like, "What's your GPA?" Like it was not in the interview
Really?
per se, but it was on the form. Like they're like, "What's your GPA?"
But that's checking
not
a box.
checking a box, sure. But then like when at this job that I'm currently at, he just said like it doesn't necessarily matter if you have your degree. It's just more showed, like I said, to show that completion of like, here's the piece of paper. I know you're dedicated,
Right.
but he was, we were talking downstairs about like, you go into this career, you go down a career path that you might not necessarily have on your spectrum of like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. But then you kind of like,
You fall into it.
you fall into it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go into specifics about like either of what we're selling or anything like that. But like, it's just like, never once have I ever thought that I would be like in this field or whatever. And the next thing you know, you're making a living off of it and so on and so forth. I did want to pivot real quick and kind of understand, because Corey, you were here last time, last time. Dan, I want to hear a little bit more about your background. We were talking about like, trades and everything like that. I know you have like a history with cars, and you were talking about like trucks and stuff. So I don't know if you want to summarize kind of a little bit about your background, or kind of just tell the people a little bit more about what it is exactly that you want to do, or what you have interest in, and kind of just give us all you can within like a good reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. So my family comes from a long history of being antique automotive collectors and restorers. More specifically, we're into like the Model A Fords. They're the era of 1928.
Oh, old school.
Old school. Yeah, exactly.
OG.
exactly. Yeah, so it was something that my grandfather started, and it's just been coming down through the generations from my grandfather to my dad to now me and my brother, and it's what we do. It's it's something that brings us together. It's something that we bond over.
Yeah.
We try to make a little money on the side to doing it too, because that's a great way to have a hobby that can be some sort of profit, of course. But it's a great community to be a part of, and it's a lot of fun. I just finished restoring my grandfather's '66 Chevy pickup. It's a C10, three on the tree, little inline 6 motor. It's a baby motor, but I had a ton of fun rebuilding it over the past year, and we put about 1,200 miles on it this summer. And it's just something that I'm very passionate about.
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. So like, I guess multiple things that we could kind of fork off of that would be like, the first thing being, where do you see yourself go? Like, do you see yourself sticking with the kind of the classicer cars? Do you like the newer, like any of the newer stuff? Like when you see like when you seen Joe's Tesla outside, did you like cringe and like we're like, oh, like everyone's going what where do you see yourself kind of going down?
No, I like to stick with the classics. Number one, they're just more user friendly, and they're enjoyable to work on. I think a lot of the newer vehicles, just given in the society that we're in, they want you to have to go back to the dealership for every single little thing.
You don't have a choice. Yeah.
Exactly. They engineer it that way, and you know what I mean. I'm all about doing things in your driveway and getting it done yourself. I think I'm going to stick with the classics for sure. Maybe I love my Model A's and my family's Model A's, of course, but my '66 Chevy's my love, and that whole era is just the most.
Well, so I mean, it's interesting because I would imagine that, especially when you go back to Model A's or pre-war stuff, right? That's got to be a dying art, and so the fact that you're relatively young getting into that era will certainly probably give you some longevity in the business.
Absolutely, yeah. And then, I'm in the same situation as a lot of other people my age where their grandfathers have these old cars. Yep. They don't know anything about them. And, although some of them just, fix it up, let's get rid of it, blah, 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 see if we can turn a profit on it. Or, I want to learn about it, I want to get into the hobby and whatnot. So it goes both ways. And, those who stick around usually stick around for a while.
Yeah, so you know how to roll gears.
I'm sorry?
You know how to shift gears.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I learned how to drive stick when I was 7. Yeah.
That's another lost art.
Yeah,
oh my God. It is a lost art.
Yeah, whenever I like I'll just go on like cars.com or Cars Guru, and I'll just like look through cars, and I'm just like,
as soon as you see manual, you move on.
I just move on instantaneously.
Oh, for real?
I don't know how to drive.
Really?
Yeah, never learned. Learned.
It's so much easier than you think.
Really?
So much easier
like the closest that I'll get to is paddle shifters, but that's like cheating. That's not even like actually. That's like actually like the stick. But so you talked about your grandfather, and you could also chime into this too, starting his own business. Like, what is that entrepreneurship like spirit, I guess, seeing him kind of have his own thing? Like, what is that like? Obviously, do you want to follow that path? You kind of touched on that a little bit, but like, where do you see yourself, I guess, in let's say 10 years?
In the moment right now, I'm looking for a role in like some sort of project management kind of operation. Okay. I want to keep the cars a hobby for right now. Okay. I think I have a lot of other interests other than just cars. I'm a car guy, but I do have multiple other interests. So I don't want to, just turn wrenches every single day for the rest of my life. I kind of want to branch out and do other things. And then, on the weekends come home and turn wrenches and be a part of the hobby.
Fair enough.
So,
that's awesome.
You know what? That's what my dad did for so many years. And, I'm just going to follow suit with that. Of course, down the line, if, I have enough capital myself and can start my own business, I'll absolutely take the chance and do it because, why not? What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
But at the same time, for right now, I just need to get off my feet, just trying to
get a job,
get started in life, get a job, move out, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, I remember those days.
Yeah, exactly. Lay the foundations of the next couple of years. So
okay. How about yourself? What about you? After post college, I guess you could say.
Going back just a tip.
Go ahead.
Like the car thing that they do is so fucking cool. Like
really?
You guys don't understand. Like I don't think he gave himself enough credit, dude. There's been so many times. I love the beanie. Yeah,
no, this guy's this guy.
There's been so many times. Like again, me and Dan are best friends, so I go over there. I know his folks, the whole nine, his whole family, whatever. There's been so many times I go over there and like, all right, we're going, to his buddy's house. We're going to the bar, whatever. Like we got plans, but like. When I get there, it's always like a Saturday. So again, it's the weekend. So that's when they're doing the in-home work. And they'll be like, yo, real quick, we just got to do this engine real quick. So I'm like, all right. So I crack a beer. I just watch, but I'm not touching that. You know what I mean? Like this is 1920s shit.
Yeah.
And dude, they're like, yeah, we're just going to lift this engine out like real quick. And they just whoop, pull it out. And then, but like to them, it's so casual. When I go, I'm like my jaw's on the floor. It's so cool, dude. And I just sip and watch. I mean, this is the coolest thing. I ask his dad questions. His dad, his brother, and him, they're like wizards with it. It's nuts, dude. So. Damn. He didn't give himself enough street cred there. It's dope, so cool, dude. And like, I just sit there and watch, and I'm like, so what does that do? And like, every time that we like leave, right? And I'm like, dude, was that a dumb question? And he's like, right? Because like, I don't know, you know what I mean? And he's like, he always says like, dude, my dad loves when you ask these questions because we all know everything. So like, no one's asking, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you forget like the little basics. You're so used to it, and then you got someone like me who comes in as nothing, like no knowledge, and I'm asking things, and his dad gets fired up. So it's,
that's good. That's
my favorite thing.
Just to go,
there's
back
no
on
dumb
that.
questions in the garage.
Yeah. Awesome.
And like the garage is huge. Yeah, it's so cool. So just to go back a little bit, but that was that.
Yeah. But you were saying like so. I guess quickly staying on the cars, we can kind of move off it, and then we go to your post like college whole thing. So you said you fix them up for mostly and collect them yourself, or you said you do a little bit of both, like selling and all that stuff as well?
So we're not in the business of flipping cars.
Okay.
But we do have our own personal collection of vehicles, and there's plenty. The hobby is slowly growing, and there's plenty of people around my area that have Model A's. So, we, of course, offer our assistance in helping them. And a lot of these people that are in it for the long haul, they want to know more, they want to learn, and they want to be a part of their own restoration. So, they'll come over to the shop, they'll collaborate with my dad, they'll work together. And my family, we are purists. We like it to be the way Henry Ford wrote it down in his novels back in the day. Like, we want it by the book. Just like back in it was in 1928 to 31. Cool. That's how we do things. Awesome. So the people that come around, they, like I said, they're in it for the long haul, and we just help them work on their cars. But we have our own personal fleet. We have we have 7 cars in our fleet.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah. So 5 of them are Model A's, and then my dad has a Camaro, and then my '66 Chevy.
Sweet. Cool. Awesome. No, thank you for sharing that. And then we'll get off the cars, I promise. I know you're saying it's a side thing. What are you thinking after school? What are you kind of looking into getting into? Like, obviously, the rap and being, that's like a huge part of your life. Like, as his side hustle was the cars, like that's your side hustle. Kind of talk a little bit about that.
About rap.
Well, rap or any, going forward, like, what are you looking for in, career and everything?
Going forward, actually, I just had a job interview, and I got asked that, like, where do I see myself in 5 years thing? Mm-hmm. And I didn't have a planned answer, but the answer that came to me right away was I see myself on a team, whether that's on a project management team, a marketing team, a finance team. I see myself on a team.
That's a good answer.
Because,
that is a good answer.
Yeah, I see myself on a team because, I love talking, meeting new people. I love, consider myself pretty creative, and I like when I meet people who have ideas that I wouldn't think of, and then picking their brain for those ideas. And I think that's why I just see myself working with people. I can never just be at a desk all day. Granted, people like that, God bless them, you know what I mean? Like, that's their lane. But I just think my lane is like You know what I mean? Is being on a team. Yeah, collaboration. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you're listening and you're interviewing, that is a freaking fabulous answer.
It is good.
Absolutely fabulous answer. Yeah. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I didn't have that plan. You know what I mean? It's just like he asked, and I was like, you know what? Like I love working with y'all. You know what I mean? Like anytime that you write like photo shoot podcasts, we're dropping hoodie. I'm like, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I want to be in on that. Like, I enjoy collaboration. So 100%, I see myself on a team of some sort. Yeah,
I think, one takeaway too, like when you're a part of a team is with these bigger corporations and getting kind of smaller, like each person has their, own cup of tea, whether it be a part of a bigger firm or a smaller firm. I personally like being a part of a smaller one just because your vote has so much more weight to it versus like if you were to be like, starting off at some other place that has like 10,000 other people, you kind of are just like
a number,
and you got to work yourself up and so on and so forth. So I definitely, I think that I don't want to tell you what to do by any means, but if that's like the thing that you like and you like to have like an impact on what it is truly, like definitely look into some smaller places and see what kind of sticks. And it just depends on what you are. Some people are more like introverted. Like that's how I thought I was too at first. I was like looking at like the biggest companies, like Fortune 500 companies or whatever, just so I like could just like get by just under the rug, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so under the radar, but
exactly.
Still get stuff done.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And it just depends. So everyone has their own cup of tea, but that's a great answer for sure.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Appreciate it. So yeah, that's to answer that. That's definitely where I see myself going.
I see Corey marketing his own music often, especially since we've definitely been friends since you started the whole rap and get into the music and whatnot. So I've seen you market it yourself more than anything else, and I think that's the kind of team that I see you on, being some sort of marketing, advertising, somewhere in that space. I just think that area suits you the best.
Yeah.
Joe often talks about like wanting to go back, like he wished he went back to school to kind of learn like what was it, psychology and
philosophy or something. Yeah.
But like that's truly what marketing is, bro. That's truly what marketing is just like understanding how people kind of operate. Like, it's like, posting ads and so on and so forth. But a lot of it's just like what makes this stick with people? Like, what is the driving factor to like, if I'm scrolling through Instagram or I'm scrolling through X is what they call it these days. What's your like stopping power to like, all right, I'm not going to just like stop at this. And it goes for music, it goes for cars. When you see anything or whatever the situation is, starting your own business, I need to figure out the stopping factor that's going to make people give me the time of day, because now everything's such like a dime a dozen. We could talk about like 1,000 other clothing companies. We could talk about 1,000 other, even niches like of hat companies. We could talk about anything, and it's just like you need to find something that sticks and then just kind of just run with that and kind of keep it always fresh.
One thing I heard and then I found is that ads aren't just ads anymore. It's not just a commercial. It's not just like you see it. Ads are interactions now. And it's now more than ever with TikTok and X or whatever the hell it's called. Like like a lot of places have like polls, you know what I mean? So you can click, like even if that poll means nothing, like who performed best for the Birds last night, and they got like 4 players, you click like all that little stuff. I think ads are more interactions now.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you can touch or interact or feel like the ad more, I think people gravitate towards that more.
Absolutely. No, and I'm curious because we kind of talked about it a little bit before, and me and Joe have talked about this before, so I kind of know his answer. But what's your guys' social media, or how do you, like his question to me was, how do you guys consume news? Like what social media platforms are you guys using?
I use TikTok. I know a lot of people are probably against that.
I know. He's a big TikTok guy.
I'm on TikTok. But you know what, dude?
Scarlet
it's honestly, it's I just go on there to escape reality for a hot second and get off. Other than that, I'm on X or Twitter, whatever it is, and just mainly those two. And of course, I watch the Apple News app. I don't know if you guys ever use
for sure.
that.
I
love that app.
Yeah, I love that app.
Oh, it is just an aggregator, but yeah,
absolutely. So that's pretty much how I consume my news.
Cool. Yeah, no, I don't use the Apple News app, but like
it's definitely worth giving.
They always got like a good. There's like entertainment, there's like a little bit of politics, there's like current news, and then
it's for really whatever you set up. So like when you first log into it, it says, what are your interests, and then it just sort of aggregates against those interests. So it'll pull in whatever, all the news sites from that or any thing. So it's just an aggregator, but it's good. I mean, it does a good job.
Cool. Yeah, cool. I get the notifications once in a while, like the big headlines, like whatever happens, it pops up. I never really checked it out. What about you?
I used to be a big Twitter fan, and because I feel like it was the most pure, and now like ever since it became X, and there's like a For You page on there now, and then a following, it's gone to shit.
Really?
Like, I don't like it anymore. Was my favorite, hands down. I loved it for sports, and then you clicked on the search thing, and it would just give you like news, and like a little video clip or like what's trending. And now it's just
popular hashtags and stuff. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's definitely not the same.
It's not like that anymore. So that one really went down the drain for me. TikTok, I'm really paranoid about TikTok. I think they're like
you and I both.
Yeah, I don't know. Not like I don't even know if I'm paranoid about like they're watching or some shit, but like I'm paranoid. I think it's messing with my attention
your own
span,
thought process and stuff. Yeah,
my attention span. Like I noticed over the summer, there was a point in time where I was watching a YouTube video. It's like a 10-minute video, and it was a 1 minute in, and I was like, dude, how long has this been? Because TikTok is so quick.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa, like that was the first time I was like, okay, that is TikTok. You know what I mean? Like messing with me. So I really tried to stay off. I keep it to promote music. That's my biggest thing. I'm like, all right, well, like if I'm not on here, there's an opportunity I'm probably missing out on to post music stuff. But I really try to stay off it because like that freaks me out.
No, yeah, it's funny you say that about
Now, you know what
Twitter.
we didn't hear from any of you is Threads.
That's the Instagram
That's
Twitter,
the
right?
Instagram. So, you know what's funny? I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast with Elon Musk, and they kind of touched on that a little bit. And he was like, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't even use X, who's the CEO of Meta and the whole thing. So
Threads.
It made me think too a little bit going down like the Twitter rabbit hole of like you always see the headline like Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion and now it's valued at like less than 20 or less than 25 billion. And it made me think if he were to truly wait, like he probably thought of this because he's a very smart guy. I know a lot of people don't like him, but if you were to wait until it went down, the platform today like would have been a complete different platform. And trying to revive something like that, or even trying to start a new social media, it wouldn't have that same impact. So yeah, he lost a couple $1 billion to him. It's like whatever. But it capitalized on the peak of that platform, which I think, which was crazy to hear you say that you think it kind of went down, which I feel like kind of revived it and gave that push.
Really?
Like yeah, like
no.
But you're still on it.
I'm still on it.
Right.
That's what I hate about it is I feel like I can't get rid of it.
Right. You can't. I mean,
hate that.
You're hooked.
So that's why.
So that's the real value.
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously had a fundamental or a real foundational base, and that base didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you might not like it.
They threatened to go away, but they never actually did.
No.
Well, that's what I liked about it.
And you can't replicate that easily, right? That's the value, right? So he overpaid maybe. But where the hell are you going to be able to, get that sort of instant, base that is just there and built in and is locked in and isn't going anywhere.
Exactly.
So you can't.
Because if he started his own, like Musk would be the app or whatever,
right.
it wouldn't do as good. You know what I mean?
Or if he started X.
Yeah,
if he started X. Yeah.
Like it wouldn't do as good because you got people who have been there for 10 years or whatever it is.
And
like
built that
I've had it since like
community,
2013.
Yeah, I mean, we can see what would happen, right? Because you've got what the hell's Trump's? I don't even know what the hell he called it.
Social platform,
social
truth,
social, right? So there's your example, right? I mean. Yeah. There's a guy who had 100 million followers, and he says, "I'm going to do my own." And sure enough, he's got some traction, but it's people kind of looking. They're just looking for a train crash, right? They're let me bounce over there and see if there's any train crashes. Oh, there aren't. Let me go back to where I have been, and where I'm comfortable, right? So you cannot replicate what he paid for, right?
No.
You just cannot get that.
So not to mention how that affected all of his other businesses too. Like Elon Musk doesn't do any advertising for Tesla.
True,
you never
right.
you never see a Tesla commercial. So it's like him just being.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, him just controlling the headlines for so long, just because he bought X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. That's just self-promotion and promotes all of his other businesses.
Two things kind of going off of that. Like when he got X Twitter, it was, there was a lot of like conspiracy with like the FBI or whatever was like involved heavily with the app itself. So like now I think that app is the only one that isn't like conforming to the whatever, like the policies or the politics that are in it. It's just kind of like you could do it like, obviously don't go in there and like have hate speech or whatever, but you could pretty much do whatever you want on there without like the consequences of it in a way.
I mean, they do have the
suspensions, but that's different than banning.
I mean, you're talking about X, right?
X,
they'll flag content now with user kind of what they
community
have,
notes.
Yes,
Community. Yeah. So just saying what's true, what's false.
Yeah.
So just
some of them are pretty informative.
Well, yeah, because like you'll see something and it'll be like, wait, is this real? And it'll be like it'll be like, this is an AI. If you skip it to like this point, you could see that it gets distorted.
I mean, it's really, so those community notes are really useful for that kind of stuff, right? Because people are doing that shit. They'll like put up videos of, especially with this Hamas thing, and they show videos that are like 12 years old, and they'll be okay, well, this is a 12-year-old video that they're trying to put into the context of today, right? And it's good for
which is fantastic, because to the average person, like I'm sure all of us are, like just looking quickly through, who's going to take the time unless you have like a stake in it, or like you feel that close enough to like want to look back to know like, oh, this video is from 12 years ago, or like if you
so
like
the other thing that's really cool about that is you'll note that they never take the original post down. They leave it up, and then they put the community note saying this is horse shit, right? And the reality is you'll start to see some of these users that'll have repeated violations or community notes that are saying, look, this guy's just scamming for clicks and stuff like that. And you get to the point where by leaving it up there, you realize that this is a horseshit site, and then you either you can filter it out, or you just laugh at it and kind of see it as the joke that it is, right? So that's the kind of the good thing by not by
taking it down,
right?
Yeah, because if you take it down, you have something to hide,
right? It's this conspiracy that this user is being treated. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So by not taking it down and leaving it up there for everybody to see it, and just calling it out for what it is, it exposes it for what it is.
And one last thing too, that's like the whole thing behind free speech, right? It's like you don't want it to be a one way where it's just like, I'm gonna just push this agenda and then that's what it is. I'm gonna take down everything. It's like that's the whole power in it. If you feel some type of way, I love the color blue. Joe might not like the color blue, but should my comment be taken down because he feels strongly about that?
Right.
It's like, no, if I want, like, that's the whole point of the First Amendment? You know what I mean? Right. It's just like to have the freedom of speech. So I think that it's good that he did what he did.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean, the reality is freedom of speech will eventually police itself. I mean, it's a little extreme right now with cancel culture, but generally speaking, right, you want people to say, if they have stupid thoughts in their head, let them say it.
Yeah.
And, it's for the rest of us to sit there and point out the fact that that's a really dumb idea, right? That's the whole
point of it. Yeah.
Let these white supremacists or let these, left-wing wing nuts, like, say their stuff and have everybody, should call it out for what it really is. And that it self-polices itself, right? We don't need a government telling us what to do.
What were you about to say, Dan?
Yeah, so just getting back to the community notes real quick, like, it's nice to see a built-in filter for what's bullshit and what's not. Because, I mean, how much of social media is just full of shit, you know what I mean? And like, just about all of it. Exactly.
It's all shit.
Every second.
It is, dude. It is.
Yeah. So
I heard an interesting take, like we weren't designed to take in this much content all the time.
We talked about that before too.
Really? Like your brain, like we were if you strip down like the foundation of a human, we were in caves shooting deer and shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And now we're constantly like you're taking in media, whether it's whether it's an ad or a post or a whatever.
God,
all
this
day
goes back
long.
to that conversation we had, and I still don't remember what the root was that we started that about. How many of these do we need?
Social media subscriptions,
social media platforms. It was probably Threads that started. Because I'm like, okay, great. Threads is like just all the other ones. Why the hell do I need another one?
Yeah, and that's kind of like that kind of led us down the rabbit hole. Getting back to X of like them trying to make it to all in one platform and kind of et cetera, because on there now you could like call people, you could do everything else. Yeah, so it's like it's really they're trying to make it to all in one, and this isn't to be like.
Oh yeah, they have like Discord channels and stuff like that now, right?
I've seen that. Yeah.
So
do they have
I forget
that on
what
there?
those are called.
Communities.
Yeah. So they're like
circles or whatever,
pop-up channels,
something like that.
So I mean, it's. That might be a good thing. I mean, really, at some point, one of these has got to win, right?
And it looks like that one's the one that's winning because you could upload podcasts on there 2 hours. Like we can't do that on Instagram.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like with that, it's good because you could do a live Q&A with the spaces, like when the NFT boom was happening. I don't know if you guys got it when you got into that, but you could like join in and actually listen to like a live Q&A with like the developers or whoever it was. So it's a cool platform, man. I do have high hopes for it. I'm not a spokesperson by any means, but it's dope. So, that's just my take.
Like as I get older, I do feel myself like wanting to get rid of more and more of these social media
I think about
sites
every
and
day.
the platforms and whatnot, and just kind of going ghost from social media.
Oh, it's funny. I was looking on my phone the other day, and I have a folder with all the social media apps. And I'm like, holy shit, it's like friggin' 3 pages long, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
to be a point.
then I'm going
this
through and
is
I'm
crazy.
like, I haven't been on this one. I haven't been on this one. I haven't been on this one. I don't even remember the last time. Threads was like the week that launched, and I signed up for an account, and that was the last time I ever used it, right? And I'm like, why
You
do
and 100 million
I
other
gotta
people.
delete this damn thing, right? I mean, I should start pruning them because the reality is it's Instagram. I use Facebook because I'm an old person, right? But I mean, it's
and Joe
that
gets the newspapers that last game.
alongside my Instagram.
Yeah, gets his morning coffee. No, that's funny. So, I mean, I guess like kind of going back to you with the music stuff real quick, talk to us about where you've been at with that, and I guess like the whole thing with social media, because that's how you get it out. Like you're not like going out there passing out CDs.
I know.
Like, you know what I mean? So like what's that like?
To be honest, it's tough because I do think about it every day. Like I want to get off it, but again, that's the thing holding me to it. And I've thought a lot of times about like paying someone to do it for me, because I would get out more content. Because when I do it by myself, I only do it when I'm feeling like, oh, I should probably post. You know what I mean? Like, but if I paid someone like $20 a month or something like that, like to do it for me, that would get me off of it, and it would probably post more. But obviously, I do it by myself. It is what it is. I do enjoy it when I post for music. I do enjoy it because I know that it's gonna spread somewhere. You know what I mean? Someone's gonna see that. That's never heard of me before, so that part's cool.
Yep.
But yeah, it is what it is.
Tell I guess us. You told me about it too, but like what that like weird marketing thing that kind of just fell into your lap with the whole like ZZ.
Oh, that's so weird, dude.
Yeah.
That was so weird. Yeah, the first album was ZZ.
The power of organic marketing. Go ahead.
Yeah, very organic, and like it blew up, quote unquote, but like we got thousands of streams with no marketing, like zero. And
was this when the guy from ZZ Top died, or
no? Even crazier. So we drop it in December of 2021. Well, that's when the Russian-Ukraine war starts going, right?
Oh, okay.
So
right. I get it. I know.
Like whatever, like that's news, and we're doing music. Two totally separate things. Didn't even think about it. Like months go, like probably like 3 months go by, and like the songs are really streaming in Russia, and we're like, what the hell? Like, all right, that's cool. Like we must have fell into some algorithm. Well, come to find out, I'm reading the Apple News app, and the top story was the letter Z is Russians' calling card for the war.
Right.
I don't know why. Like I didn't really read the whole thing.
I guess.
But so we fell into their algorithms and media over there, and the album blew up in Russia. But like we didn't know that, so John was like, "Dude, world tour in Russia, like let's go." But like we had no idea until I saw that news article, and I was like, "Dude, holy crap!" I was like, "This is why." So yeah, very organic, and again, we weren't trying to get into that stuff. You know what I mean? At the time, it's a hot take. You know what I mean? Like whatever. But it was just funny how that stuff, like how that
it just picked up. It
just picked up
exactly. Yeah. And like another thing that you did too was that you kind of talked about the power of TikTok. You used the one TikTok sound for that one song that kind of blew up. You know, it was like a trending sound or something like that.
The Madonna Frozen remix.
Okay, yeah,
was the sound, and I forget what people were using the sound for, like what like the trend was with the video. But again, just being like a music person, I thought the beat was tough. So like, all right, I'll just hop on this. Like it was no one's beat; it was just like a sound. So like I just took it. And used it, and then like if I made that song now and posted it now, it probably wouldn't have done as good. But because the song was so popular, like it was popping up every couple swipes, and TikTok was different 2 years ago with that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I just when I made the song and then put it out in the timing of when that was popular, it was perfect timing.
Yeah. Well, and I'm curious to hear like more about just the process too, and maybe you could attest to some of the stuff as well, but just like you mentioned, kind of being spotty with social media, that's kind of like our biggest downfall as well, is like we're only posting when we have something going on.
Right.
It's hard to kind of stay like active towards it. Like I don't know,
when there's nothing new,
like I don't know if you guys like, do you have like a regimen of like when you're posting, or like when do you guys like, you just do it when it feels, or like I know there's teams of social media people who get paid like a salary to like post every single day or whatever, but like what's your guys' rhyme or reason behind it, or when do you like feel like getting on it? You said to like on TikTok just to kill time, but what's your like
to actually
your
post
patterns behind it? Yeah, like I'm curious to hear it.
If I went out and did something, like when I make like a personal post, like me and my girlfriend or like me and my buddies, like if we did something, like we go to the Phillies game, when we're so bad at taking pictures. Me, my friends, my girl, we're all so bad at it. Like just the people I'm surrounded with. So Like if we do snap a pic, I usually post like that stuff only when I'm doing something. I'm not someone just to post. But when it comes to music, I can kind of feel like I have like an internal clock. I'll be like, all right, I definitely haven't posted in a long time. Or I try not to only post about music when I'm getting ready to drop. Like every once in a while I like to just be like, hey, stream this now. Like it's already out. It's been out for a month. You know what I mean? Like stream this, because I don't want people to think like, all right, when they see my thing pop up, okay, it's just music. Here he comes again with another song. Like I'm not even gonna click on it. You know what I mean? So like I try to post things that are already out. Maybe try to catch them off guard, I guess. I don't know. It's just different thoughts.
It's on your own timing. How about you? Like, what about you? Like for as far as posting, or just even from a consumer point of view, like when do you see yourself going on social media?
Well, as far as posting goes, never. No, absolutely not. No, I don't put my shit out there on social media.
Good for you. Seriously, good for you. I mean,
I don't do that. I mean, I live on a very small slice of earth, and I have a good couple people that I keep close to me. Okay. And if you need me, you got my number. Otherwise, you know.
God bless. That is a rarity in this world.
Corey once said, Scuzz once said, privacy is power, and like that's really true. You know what I mean? Like I don't. You know,
says the guy who's on TikTok.
Yeah, seriously. No, I'm just on I'm on there to kill time. You know what I mean? Just on there to kill time. And
that's my shitter app. The only time I go on TikTok is when I'm taking a shit. That's it. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a good thing to have. Privacy is king, but you know, I'm just seeing more and more people get on it. It's very rare to see that. So
I'm just on there. I'm on there strictly as a consumer. I just don't post anything.
That's nothing wrong with that for sure. I mean,
how about you, Joe? When do you post?
I post when something happens, right? I mean, you know, same thing. Like wherever it is. Should I Renaissance Fair? You know, take a picture of me in a Gandalf costume and throw it up on social media, right? So. Yeah, I mean, something triggers it. It's not, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I mean, I consume every friggin' day, unfortunately, right? I mean, I'm at a job, I guess, where I'm on the computer, so every once in a while we'll bounce over. So I consume every friggin' day, and there's no avoiding that. And most people, I'm sure, do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, I don't know.
It is crazy concept.
Now, when it comes to like exclusive minds, right, we have not done a good job of, it's only when we're dropping something, and that used to be like once every couple of months, and now it's like once every 6+ months, and so there's this huge gap of
in the timeline,
nothing that we do. And generally speaking, it was just emails, right? It wasn't really social media too much. Something we probably should consider ramping back up.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I think so too, and that's something we should definitely talk about. But it's just hard to,
like, I used to post every time we did the podcast, or I would shoot an email out every time we did the podcast.
Now you don't,
which was weekly for the longest time up until like the last 6 months or so. So we were doing something that had some sort of regular cadence, but even that kind of fell off. And I can't remember the last time I sent an email saying, hey, we did a podcast. And so shame on me, but it's challenging. It's hard to do. Like you said, time. And if we had somebody we paid to do all this, it would be a lot easier, but who the hell can afford that, right? So I'm not Brad Pitt or whatever, right?
Yeah. No, I think that just being more consistent is just how you grow naturally. So like, we always, it's truly the definition of a double-edged sword. When you don't post, you expect results, but then how can you get results if you're not putting yourself out there? Like, unless like you're doing, handshake deals or word-to-mouth deals or whatever the case might be, which I'm sure that's probably a lot of what you got going on with like the people who are in that space of collecting cars and so on.
Exactly.
But
word of mouth and T-shirts.
T-shirts?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I got the gear, bro. Yeah. The gear is tough. Yeah, absolutely. I got some gear.
Everybody that...
So, I mean, they must have internet forums that are specific to Model A and stuff like that. I would imagine you're active in those realms, right, where you have a central collecting point for everybody who's really interested in the products.
Sure. Yeah. It's called Ford Barn, actually. Yeah. So
Ford Barn.
And people get on there and they post their issues, and my dad will get on there and
jump in, and sure, that's
absolutely. My dad likes to do that. That's his version of social media that he tends to go to.
Like if you ask me, I mean, awesome. that's the true value of the internet is specific
niche
topic forums, right?
Yeah,
I mean, especially for car guys, right? Because every freaking car has their own specific subreddit forum, and sometimes multiple forums. But I mean, the information you can get there is just off the charts, right? I do it with the Hummer all the time when I'm like, I'm having something, some issue, and you just say, hey, here's my problem, and boom, you get 14
YouTube video
answers, and then it leads you down this path where you can kind of self remedy it, and
that's why it's awesome.
Fabulous.
That's
that,
like
right?
stuff like
that's
that.
the value of the internet.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, watching cats, jump off a couch and smash into a fish tank or whatever it might be.
That's what ruined the internet, man.
That's
YouTube videos that started blowing
not
up.
Valuable use of time. Sorry.
No, for sure.
That's awesome.
And now, kind of going back to what you said, like just kind of being as someone who just thinks the way I do, like you often see what people post on there and you just automatically think to just compare instantaneously. Like people are posting like the best moments of your life and you're thinking to yourself in private, like, why am I not doing that right now when it's just like a random
Honestly,
Saturday
I never think
night?
that at all. Ever.
Really?
No.
I do.
Do you really? I mean, so like you're watching a video of some dude driving around in like a
Lamborghini,
Ferrari, going to Jamba Juice, and you're like pissed about it. I mean,
no, not pissed. Just like I'm just like, damn, like I want that. Like it's more of like a motivational thing. Like I like see it and I'm like, bro, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just thinking like, how do I? I'm like, bro, like I need to make like fucking $50 million like right now. Like I'm just get like super amped. I fall asleep, wake up, and it just kind of
it's weird. I mean,
I
fizzles away.
Yeah.
Maybe early on, I don't. I mean, I watch all those videos that I certainly would long to have Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and I watch all these videos, and I don't ever like.
You just watch it from like just like a consumer's point of view.
Yeah. Like it doesn't
that's exactly
wreck my brain going, God damn, why am I not doing that, right? Yeah.
Plus, having a Ferrari or a Lamborghini is not as cracked up as people make it out to
be.
No, that's just let me tell you something. Instead of brake pads on there, you're paying $1,200 each wheel.
So I don't know if you ever watched the Daily Driven Exotics where they actually go through the maintenance charges for all these hypercars.
It's insane,
and it is sick.
It is sick.
Like they did the one for the Pagani, and it was like, the windshield for this is like $32,000 for the windshield. Driving around these roads and little stone and be like,
that is one thing I think about, especially in PA where we live in particular. The roads are shit.
The roads are so bad here, dude.
When people drive around these expensive cars, like Joe said, like you get like a flat tire, you just gotta cough up like $5,000, like just cuz.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
Oh my god.
Well, I'll stick with my cheap old cars, man.
That's why people don't daily drive them. They come out every once in a blue moon, right? And you got that kind of. If you own a Pagani or something, you're probably not worrying about $32,000. It's chump change, but still, for us, it's like, oh my god,
financially irresponsible.
I've never even seen that much money.
That's why I love my truck being patina because like I don't have to worry about
that's
it.
Cool.
You know what I mean? I just. Yeah,
dude, that thing is like a ship. That thing is solid, man.
It's a boat. That thing is a boat.
Yeah. What's new with Exclusive Minds? Like what's
nothing?
If you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we just had a drop.
Nothing's new. Come on, man. We just like.
Okay, sorry. Next one. Well, this is my go-to.
Clothes are at the printers, and we will be delivering on our promise by the hopefully the end of this week.
The end of the week, yeah. So we're about like a week out of getting everything in. Again, we appreciated everyone who pre-ordered.
Yes,
and then it's funny. On my way over here, I was on Discord, and then right as I was about to hang up, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go do like the podcast," and we got talking about the clothing. Someone was like, oh man, I was trying to buy it, but they were sold out. I was like, fuck you, they weren't sold out. It was pre-order. I just hung up. I just banged on them right away. People will lie to you any chance they get, bro. Like, it's whatever.
Well, I mean, they're still up there, so I left them up, and it
says sold out.
It says sold out now, only because I just closed the.
But like all the I guess marketing we did like during it, like it was impossible for you not to see it if you follow us. But like that's the thing is like getting out of that, getting out of the bubble of just right here. You know what I mean? It's like. The power of sharing, and that's actually a good question I was going to ask. Does it bother you when like your close friends, or not even close friends, but friends in general, like don't repost your stuff or don't like do anything like that?
When they don't help me promote the music.
Okay, so talk about that a little bit.
It doesn't tick me off. I'm not mad at someone. You know what I mean? But I'm like when I see you guys post, I always repost it.
Sure.
When I see Marcus do like a reel, repost it. I'm actually working with this new bull that I met through Marcus. He like I didn't
MC?
No, JV.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
he actually went to our school.
I think so, yeah.
Anyway, he hit me up, so we're doing a song right now. But, like, I haven't, like, met him yet in person, or, like, we haven't sat down yet, but I still repost his stuff. You know what I mean? Just trying to help.
It's just, like, sharing it. Yeah, it's good. It's
just trying to help.
It's a good community to have. And, like you said, community, especially for the niche thing that you're, like, the niche market that you're in, like, community's everything. So, like, when you're putting yourself out there trying to do it, reposting and republishing your stuff is free. Like if you're,
it doesn't take long. Just
it doesn't.
boom,
Yeah, exactly. And then it's up, whatever. And if you want to add a caption, you can. But I don't know. I always see that with like if I was a musician, and I know I guess for us it's different because there's like a dollar value attached to it. With other people that are making music's free to listen to, like for the most part. Like you pay what, like $5 a month and you get Apple Music, like whatever. It's
but
free.
everybody
it's free,
has some
it's
sort of
free
music,
to listen to for the most part. So like if I was you guys, I would just like I would be keeping like counting like who.
They keep raising the rates. Didn't they just raise the rates again?
It's like $6,
$5.
$6, $7.
Student subscription. Right, I think as long as I can.
Yo, that's crazy. I'm still on my brother's student subscription. I just finesse it every single time. I've been in school for like 8 years.
I'm running out of siblings.
Exactly.
Damn.
Exactly. Yeah. You know,
sucks when you run out.
It's a subscription based. We could scream till the end of time. It's just discouraging to see like you have all these different payments come out at all these different times of the month. It's like the 1st through the 5th, this payment's coming out. Then the car's coming out after that. Then student loans coming out. It's just like, bro, it's just like
on top of like groceries, gas.
Batteries.
The sad thing is that is just the way of the world these days. It's not going to change. Everything's going to be freaking subscription.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And there was even like the movie. Like we went to go see a movie yesterday. We went to go see. What is it? The Flower to Kill.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, how was that,
the
bro?
DiCaprio one?
Yeah, it was good. It was just so long, 3.5 hours. I was in the movie,
see,
bro.
I love him. Bro.
I'm not
so
like
tough.
I like longer movies, but not that long. I was like trying to get the F out of there, but like.
So what's the deal with that? Because it's in the theaters, but it's Apple TV, right? Isn't it?
It's in the theaters.
Can I like get it on Apple TV right now?
Sure, probably. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So like,
cool.
I don't know if you have to buy it or whatever the case is, but we went to go see it. And they had a bunch of advertisements in the Regal about like these passes that it's like $22 a month, and you can go like and it's advertised like after 2 movies it pays for itself. So it's like I'm thinking to myself, I go to the movies like once every 8 months, like very sporadically. Like if they're dropping a new Marvel movie, which I don't even anymore. Like the past Marvel movies,
they just dropped that stupid shit.
Miss Marvels or whatever the Marvels.
The Marvels or some crap.
Right.
Dan's a big Marvel guy.
You're a Marvel guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was for the Thanos saga.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think about like the way? What do you think about the direction? What do you think about the direction they're going? Because right now, I think that low key, I think DC might be winning. Like. At this point,
I think they're
Batman's
coming around. But you know what, man? I have to.
The catalog of Marvel's crazy.
I was gonna say I need more of a sample from DC before I commit to that. But yeah, I think DC is making a strong push right now.
Well, the problem with DC is they really only have 2 characters that are worth
Batman
and Superman, right? So I mean,
and the Joker.
There's ancillary characters, but I mean, it's just tough, and they constantly like rewrite it. Like, so they'll do one movie,
like
and then
James
we got a new, forget all those other movies.
Yeah, they
don't even exist anymore, right? It's a whole new like rewrite, and then it's we'll do 2 movies for that, and forget Christian Bale, he's gone, forget him, that never happened. Yeah. We got a new guy now, and it's like the rinse and repeat, and I'm like, it just doesn't flow.
I was just talking about this because I was asking someone about
that though.
You like that? You like starting fresh?
Batman's been my favorite superhero since I was a little kid.
That's exactly what we were talking about. We were talking about Batman, and I was like, the new one's great.
But
I didn't have no problems with it.
I get it.
I love it though.
I do too, and I've seen every one of them and love them, right? But I'm like, I don't know.
With it being as good as it was, it's obviously hard to compare anything to the Dark Knight because that's like arguably some of the greatest like cinema just in general, like across the platform.
Yeah.
So to compare it to another Batman movie, let alone that specific character, of course you're going to be like, oh man, he has a tall task, but it was good. I thought the writing on it was great. Even the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
that was
so I have like a little bit of a theory on that.
Okay,
I think what they could do is keep the Robert Pattinson Batman as that continuation, but then the Joaquin Phoenix, I believe he agreed to do another Joker movie already. So like,
I think they're making it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So like, maybe take that down a real dark path and somehow
merge
them together in like a third combination movie. They can keep going separately after that, but just have both of them, because I think Pattinson's Batman.
Yeah, it was
Pattinson's
good.
Batman was up there with Bale for me. I mean, I thought it was really good. It was super realistic, Corey was sending me YouTube videos on the people that actually built the Batmobile in the newest one. And
it's so
there's
cool,
so much
dude.
realism in that movie that it's
they took
awesome.
like a 69 Dodge Challenger and just like stripped it down. It was like, all right, this is the base. We want it to look like he built this last night.
In his
you know
garage,
what I mean?
yeah,
It's so cool.
That's
I
cool.
love
They
shit
made
like
it a
that.
rear engine car. They put shocks and shock absorbers on it, massive tires. You know what I mean? Obviously built it up, big bumpers and whatnot. Yeah, it was the realism factor of it. And that's the big thing because obviously when you're dealing with superheroes, we're already talking about something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So if you can add a serious element of realism into the movie,
It's super cool.
Excellent.
It's a thing on top. I think my only worry is exactly kind of what happened with the Spider-Man movie with that Batman series is like it could get stale really quick because they just had like arguably the best Spider-Man movie of all time when all three of them came together.
That was cool.
How do you bounce back from that into the next one? You know what? Like you kind of, it's literally just it's just going downhill. I don't think they can get much better than that unless they somehow. I heard they might get like Robert Downey Jr. back to do Iron Man. So
I heard that.
We'll see what happens there. But
they're in panic mode now.
Yeah, exactly. They're pressing all the buttons. But with that, if they ever did cross over, like that's going to be like kind of like the peak, and then after that, it's just going to fall off. And DC's like trying to push to that good spot. So
well, I see like with the Spider-Man, I think has his own element to this conversation because after the No Way Home one, now they can bring Venom into it. Now they can do the Sinister Six.
I forgot about Venom. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like there's a lot of Spider-Man is notorious for having tons of different like enemies and whatnot, and they did that movie Morbius, which I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I didn't think
it was terrible.
So
a lot of people were shitting on that. I know. Yeah, they were shitting on that movie.
So I thought for what it was good. But like I think Spider-Man specifically, there's a lot more avenues that will still compete with No Way Home. I think No Way Home will always have the crown, but they can come close.
I heard they were also
going to.
I heard they were going to redo the one with Andrew Garfield, or like do like a.
He deserves it. From what I know about his time on set, I mean, apparently his just experience being Spider-Man was terrible.
Oh, really?
That's what I
really.
Yeah.
He was a cool Spider-Man.
He was dope Spider-Man.
He was a dope Spider-Man.
I like that
one of my favorites. But like Toby, bro, like that's when we were all kids. Like,
he's always going to be number one.
He's the man, dude. It was like corny, but it was perfect. You know what I mean? Like that balance.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah. So like right now, I want to kind of stay. I guess kind of shifting a little bit. Me and Joe kind of were talking about before you guys got here, just like the staleness in games in general, but then like we were talking about like movies and so on and so forth. I feel like there hasn't been a good movie. Just like I feel like this era, I don't know if it's because we're getting older or what the case is. It's just like there's nothing good. I feel like coming out. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if that's just from us. I don't know. Like I said, getting older. I don't know what the case is. Have you guys noticed that in your respected your respected crafts?
Yeah. I just listened to a fantastic podcast with J. Cole and like how everyone talks about like how hip hop's in this bad place and like obviously when Drake and J. Cole drop, like that's obviously like that's what matters. But like the day-to-day hip hop, you know what I mean? It's just kind of stale. And he made a good point. He's like, we can't always be in a golden era. He was like the 90s. What makes it a golden era. The 90s was a golden era, and then you flash forward to like the early 2000s, like Lil Wayne, Eminem, golden era. Then you flash to 2012, golden era. Future, Cole, Drake, you know what I mean? And then like 2018 with like the baby stuff, you know what I mean? And now we're kind of in a space where it's kind of like, Now for me, I like that because I'm like, all right,
this is your time to shine.
Like, like that's an open door. Like, let's, you know what I mean? Like now I have something to shoot for. You know what I mean? But like obviously Drake's and J. Cole's and those guys are on the Mount Rushmore. Those guys are the goats. But like, so like to attest to that, I think like we're not in like entertainment. I feel like as a whole, movie. I mean. Streaming TV shows though are pretty badass.
Are they?
There are a few.
Like, there's a lot of great TV shows out, but like
there's
movies
just too
and
many
music,
of them. It's hard to
pick.
It is. It is hard.
The one that I just watched recently was Tulsa King. That one was pretty good.
Fantastic.
Oh man, that was so good.
Stallone, huh?
Yeah, Stallone.
Yeah, dude.
But no, what you were talking about, it makes sense because if everything was good all the time, then there is no such thing as a golden era. So I guess you need to have. Yeah, I guess you need to have that. That's a good thing to kind of talk about. But as far as your music, how's that? What's that been?
It's going good.
What's going on?
I just got the new equipment.
Oh yeah, go ahead, talk about that.
Quite literally fell in love. Shout out to Marcus, dude.
Yeah,
he sent me all the links because I just texted him. I was like, dude, like I'm looking to get some new stuff. This is probably like over the summer. And I was like, I'm looking to get some new stuff. Like, what do you recommend? Because he's like a wizard with that. and he sent me the links, and I just literally didn't even do any research, which I am I'm a big like research guy. Like before I buy something, I look into every YouTube video, every review. But this, I was like, I'm taking his word. Like that guy is good. So I was like, all right, I bought everything that he sent me, and I used the music money, which was cool. So I just reinvested it right back in. And Friday night, my girl was out, so I had the house to myself. I sat down for like 3 hours and cranked out like 4 songs.
Cool.
And just locked in. Yeah, like I love the quality of the mic. I got new headphones. I got new compressor. Like all this stuff. And I'm just having a ball.
Dude, awesome. Yeah, it's always fun when you get stuff. Like I'm the same way. Like whenever I get something new, I just like with the moment I buy it, I go on YouTube and just watch like every single review of like people talking about. I'm like, dude, I can't wait for this to get here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't wait for
get like fired up.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, like, I guess for you, like, there was obviously a golden era, I guess, kind of, I know you said you don't want to make cars your whole thing, but kind of going back to that, the golden era of cars, is what's that definition for you? Because a lot of people say it's like the 60s was like, that was like the boom. Like, what about you? I guess you're a little bit pre that now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, no, I think if it depends on your taste, and I think, when somebody is, they love cars. Well, that's a broad topic. You know what I mean? You gotta really narrow that in. Personally, I love, of course, the muscle car era, 60s through to the 70s and early 80s. But I like the early 2000s JDM cars, the Supras, the R34s, R35s, R32s, the Skylines, all that kind of stuff. I don't know much about them, but I know that they're pretty significant cars in the community and in those worlds, and I know that they can make a lot of power, those cars. So, there's multiple pockets that I dip into, but of course I have my own lane.
Yeah, you know what you need to, you know the sweet spot, you know exactly what to do. It's funny, this is kind of indirect to you, but me and Joe talked a couple episodes back about like the whole consumer aspect of getting a car. Like, I guess you really don't see it, but like for us, the mind-blowing thing when he got his car was how quick everything seemed to be, like with the Tesla stuff. Like you said, you were like the whole process was like completely different from what you were used to.
Yeah, I mean, it was all
digital.
Most of it was done online, right? So I just literally showed up, and within 20 minutes, I was out the door with a car.
Which is like
that's cool.
Which is crazy to think about, because you typically, whenever you go
years
to
past,
dealer,
it was like filling out a
like 4 hour process.
Yeah, it was terrible, right?
Yeah. And you have to like negotiate, like the whole negotiation.
So I mean, the reality is that a lot of that process is still there. It's just that you basically do it online, right? So you do it at your home, like you're filling out the credit application, it's all approved, right? You're not doing it in the office, so you can, and it's
go at your own rate.
There's literally like 7 steps, and they walk you through it, and you can take your time. You don't need to do it all at one time, so it's a little different. But yeah, it was going to the actual thing to pick up the car was literally 20 minutes.
But is there like bidding and stuff for those type of cars, or no?
No. So with Tesla, what it is they have inventory local. Just like every car dealer, right? I mean, Devin here in PA has inventory on Teslas, and Tesla like lowers. I think they lower the price every couple of weeks if it's sitting on the lot, which a lot of the other dealers don't do, right? They want you to go in there and haggle, and if it's been sitting there, they might haggle more, but they're not upfront about it. Tesla's like, okay, this car was $50,000, when it landed on our showroom floor.
2 weeks ago.
It's been sitting here 2 weeks. It's now $49,000. If it sits another 2 weeks, it's $48,000. And I'm sure there's some point where it stops, but that's how I got mine, right? I got mine for whatever it was, $3,000 less than that, because I'm guessing it had been sitting there.
Which model is that?
3.
The 3, okay. I like that.
Dude, that car is fast as shit, dude.
So I work at Ford right now, and they have me move around the cars all the time, and I move the E Mustangs.
Yes.
I mean, I've never driven a Tesla, but I'm sure it's similar with the electric car. Quick. Yeah. They're quick.
Yeah, I mean, electric cars generally have
they pick up
significant 0 to 60s. Yeah. They don't have the top end, right? So that's where it fades a little bit, because if you see any of the videos with the drag races, right? The Teslas are always strong off the line, but then they kind of fade over distance. But
no, they're super cool. My favorite type of car right now is SUVs.
We've talked about this before. Yeah. Like that car was, I think I paid less than $50,000 for it. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. Like that's mind-boggling to me as a car guy, right? 4.2 seconds. That used to be the realm of Corvettes, Porsches, you had to get into a pretty interesting stratosphere to get to a sub 5 second car, and now it's like freaking every car on the planet is sub 5 seconds.
Crazy.
Anything that's electric is pretty quick, right? So
yeah. What's underneath the tarp out there? What is that?
It's a Hummer H2.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, Joe likes the Hummers. He's been in the Hummer. Well, what got you into the Hummers?
I bought in 2003. I bought the original Hummer H2, like first year it came out.
No
just
way.
fell in love with it, and then I was off-roading them. So then I had a Hummer H1 for, I don't know, 12 years or something.
Military-looking one, right?
Yeah. And then I've had a bunch of these. I've cycled through a couple of them.
That's
but yeah,
cool.
so I mean, Hummers is kind of my thing. So
When I was like a little kid, like not knowing anything about cars, that was my favorite car as like a little kid. Like, oh, those look so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Those are
But,
good.
now it's, right, it's a 20-something-year-old car, so it comes with its own set of challenges that keep it entertaining. And, so I wrench most of my own stuff up to the point of I can't, like, do engine work and compressions and, that stuff's a little bit above me. So I will do as much as I can and then toss it over to the pros. Like I just had the whole suspension redone, and I probably could have done it myself, but they were like, "Yeah, we'll install all this stuff for like $900," and it's like it's weighing. Do I have it's going to take me a week or a couple weekends to do it, like solid straight through. These guys can bang it out in a day, right? So I was like, let me pay for that, right? So that's the balance act. But I'm pretty handy with the wrench. But man,
now with that, do you winterize it or do you keep it out?
I literally just throw it under the tarp because normally I drive it, right? I don't drive it a lot, but I mean it's like the weekend thing.
Okay.
I think I just threw it under the tarp because I got that tarp from Amazon Vine, which is like it's a free thing. So I was like, I got it. Well, I might as well throw it on there. Yeah. So that's why it looks like it's under the tarp. It normally isn't.
Yeah. That's cool.
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but we kind of have to wrap up soon just because we have to go to the Rafi thing. But before we do go, I want to just hear what you guys have going forward. Like, what's the future look like? Talk to us about graduation, I guess, or what do you guys got going forward?
We're super pumped to graduate. We're going to. It's actually super cool. This like warms my heart. We both go to state school, so Dan's at Westchester, I'm at Kutztown.
Oh, you're at Westchester?
Yes.
My man. Okay.
So, obviously, like, every college graduates the same day, and I was like, we're not going to be able to, like, we started at Kutztown together, so we're not going to be able to walk together, and then we're not going to be able to see each other. Well, they put the dates out, and Dan's is on Friday night, mine's on Saturday morning. So that's cool. So
sweet.
We'll be able to go to each other's thing,
Awesome,
which
man.
is pretty sweet. But
what's the future look like, man?
Going forward, doing the job dance right now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I had an interview.
Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, I had an interview this past week. Went really, really well, but I had to turn it down. They like offered me to go to the next round. I had to turn it down. It wasn't the right location, which stinks. Great company.
Yeah.
And I'm applying to some cool spots. I'm working on a Phillies application because I'm in sports marketing.
Better not wear none of that Yankee stuff, man.
I'm applying to a job with the Yankees.
Okay,
something I never thought I would want to do because like I didn't want to kill my fandom. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want Yankee Stadium to be work. You know what I mean? Like I want that. Sure. That's my favorite place in the world. Like I don't want that because you know once you work somewhere it changes it. Like you work at McDonald's, you're not going to eat it.
You're not going to eat there. No, for sure. Anymore.
So. But I'm applying to a job there. Like I'm working on it right now, and
Good for you, man.
Pretty cool. I actually heard back from them, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the future, you know, just doing the job thing right now, and I'm kind of tailored my mind to think of it in more of like a competitive, like a sport.
Awesome.
Almost. Like you know, it takes practice. You got to do the interviews. You got to tune up the resume.
There's some truth to that.
There's tips and tricks and strategies, and I've actually learned a lot. So that's like my mission right now in the next like couple weeks and months, just finding the right job, the right time, the right place, all that stuff.
Just don't get discouraged by the no's. There's going to be 1,000 no's before there's a yes, and when the yes comes around, it's going to be it's going to be the one. It's going to be the right timing. But as on the music front, you just dropped a project Side Hustle, which
a couple
was
weeks ago. Yeah,
fantastic. So,
thank you. Appreciate it.
That was one of your best works to
you.
date. Anything you want to talk about on that? Or you just kind of want to keep it a mystery for now?
No, I can talk about it. Me and John are just working on the group thing. So right now I'm like that was it for like my solo stuff. Probably for the year. Like I'm probably good for the rest of the year. I'm like dropping solo stuff. But yeah, me and John we're pretty close. It's been quite the process. We're probably gonna drop it in like February if I had to guess. But so yeah, that's all coming along. Always working with Marcus.
Yeah.
and open to working with new people always.
Great. Yeah, it's great to work with like-minded people. It helps you push yourself forward. So that's super dope. How about you, my boy? Westchester Ram over here.
Absolutely, yeah. No, just getting ready to graduate college again. Like Corey said, super excited. And I'm doing the job dance as well, just looking for the right fit for now. And then, as I said earlier in the show, just laying down the foundation for the rest of the life, for the rest of the way forward, saving up, looking to buy a house next. And
shoot.
Yeah, that's on the horizon for sure. So, get the big boy job, get a house, and just get those foundational pieces in place for at least the time being. And just keep working on my cars, in between. And
you have any cars on the horizon that you're looking at, or you kind of just saving, like you said, for a house? Like, what are
saving for a house right now? Not looking for any projects. I have a couple of dream projects I'll get to one day, but for right now, I'll just stick with what I got.
Okay.
And just keep putting pennies away.
It would be a crime if I didn't ask. What's your dream car? If I gave you $2 million right now,
they change every week. I got a new car.
If you're a car guy, that's absolutely true.
Okay.
Yeah, they change all the time. I think right now.
Yeah, right now.
Like a late 90s Porsche 911
okay.
turbo.
Something
like that. Yeah, those are
bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Awesome.
The original Bad Boys, for those that don't know, 95.
Oh, look at the timing.
There we go.
Right.
1 hour and 3 minutes, and the GoPro crapped out.
I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast. This is the end.
For having me.
For sure.
Yeah,
I hope you guys liked it. We hope to have you guys back. This was a good one for you. I hope it was a good introduction for you, bro.
Awesome.
All right, good. So make sure to check out our socials. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Sounds good.
Peace.
Peace. Later.